Saya mau bertanya kepada saudara-saudara,
I would like to ask you questions.
pernahkah saudara dengan sangat excited, sangat gembira mau membeli hadiah, misalnya untuk anak-anak kita?
Have you ever experienced you are so blissfully and happy, joyfully to give gifts to children?
Dan saudara sudah dengan susah payah cari di toko, dan saudara akhirnya dapat satu hadiah yang saudara pikir, anak saya akan suka hadiah ini.
After so much effort, you're shopping around and you determine and you think that my children will love this award.
Kemudian datang harinya, ulang tahunnya,
And on his birthday,
saudara kasih hadiah ini,
you give the gift.
lalu saudara lihat muka anak saudara tidak happy.
But then you see the countenance, you see the face of your children looks unhappy.
Padahal saudara sudah, mungkin hadiah itu mahal, saudara sudah gunakan waktu, anaknya tidak suka hadiah saudara.
Although you have put so much effort and perhaps the gift cost so much money, but yet your children looks unhappy.
Pernah saudara hadapi
Have you
seperti itu?
experienced this? Raise your hands.
Mungkin cuma saya ya.
Perhaps I'm the only one who experienced this.
Waktu anak saya Melody masih kecil,
When Melody was a little child,
setiap ulang tahunnya saya berikan hadiah. Pada waktu dia menerimanya, dia dengan senang, gembira, "Mami, thank you for this gift."
when Melody was a child, I always gave her birthday gift, and she was so thankful.
Kemudian dia menganjak menjadi high school.
And now she's in high school, the SMA.
Satu kali saya berikan dia hadiah, saya tahu dia akan suka hadiah
And
ini.
one day I gave her a gift, and I was convinced that she would like it.
Pada waktu saya kasih hadiahnya,
But when I gave the gift,
dia terima hadiahnya, kemudian dia bilang thank you.
but then he said,
Mukanya
"See,
tidak happy
your
mukanya.
face is so unhappy.
Lalu saya tanya, kamu tidak suka ini hadiah?
Don't you like this gift?"
Mami, hadiah ini saya suka kalau waktu saya umur 6
I
tahun
said,
katanya.
"Mommy, I like this gift when I was 6 years old."
Saya pikir itu hadiah yang dia suka, memang dia suka sekali
And
itu.
I thought that gift that she would like.
Ternyata dia tidak suka lagi hadiah yang seperti
In fact,
itu.
she didn't like it.
Jadi pemberian yang saya berikan kepadanya
So the gift that I gave her
tidak berkenan di hatinya.
is not what according to her will.
Lalu saya pikir-pikir, apakah
So I've been thinking,
saya dan saudara pernah memberikan hadiah, memberikan pemberian kepada Tuhan, lalu Tuhan tidak berkenan?
have you, me and you included, given gift to God, but yet it's not according to His will?
Padahal kita sudah tahu, saya tahu bahwa saya berikan ini untuk Tuhan.
Although I am confidently, I'm giving this to God.
Ini mengingatkan saya tentang cerita yang ada di dalam buku Kejadian.
It reminds me of a story. It's written in the book of Genesis.
Cerita tentang Kain dan Habel.
Story about Cain and Abel.
Tuhan berfirman kepada mereka berdua,
God had spoken to them both.
bawa persembahanmu,
Bring your offerings.
taruh di atas mezbah
Put it
untukku.
upon the altar.
Kemudian mereka berdua bawa.
Oh, they both bring their offerings.
Kain bekerja sebagai petani,
Cain worked as a peasant, as a farmer,
dan Habel bekerja sebagai apa?
and Abel as a what?
Menjaga binatang ya.
As a shepherd, flocks.
Jadi mereka berdua bawa persembahan sesuai dengan bidang mereka masing-masing,
So
betul?
they both bring their own offerings accordingly to what they produced.
Jadi Habel membawa korban domba.
Abel bring a lamb.
Kain membawa semua hasil apa? Pertaniannya.
Cain bring all the crops, all the number one crops.
Saya dan saudara tahu ceritanya. Persembahan siapa yang diterima oleh
And as
Tuhan?
you know the story, whose offering was being accepted by God?
Persembahan Habel.
Abel's offering.
Dua-dua membawa persembahan.
Both of them brought their offerings.
Pada waktu saya masih kecil, saya baca cerita ini.
When I was in childhood, I read this story.
Saya pikir-pikir Tuhan tidak adil.
And I've been thinking God is not fair.
Saya bilang, kan Kain petani.
Cain is a farmer.
Jadi dia bawa hasilnya.
So of course he will bring the crops, the result of
Dan
the crops.
karena Habel menjaga domba, dia bawa domba.
Because Abel is a shepherd, he will bring the lamb.
Tetapi di dalam Alkitab dikatakan Tuhan tidak berkenan
But
atas
the Bible,
pemberian
it says
Kain.
God is not willing to accept Cain's offering.
Kenapa Tuhan tidak berkenan?
Why God is not accepting it?
Setelah saya membaca beberapa roh nubuat,
After
dikatakan
reading all the prophecies, book of the prophecies,
pada waktu Tuhan menyuruh untuk membawakan persembahan korban, itu berarti korban apa saudara? Yang ada darahnya.
when God had commanded to offer an offering, that's what He meant, an offering sacrifice with something in blood in it.
Yang akan menunjuk kepada pengorbanan
The
dari
sacrifice
Yesus.
that's going toward the offering, the sacrifice.
Dua-dua mereka tahu,
Both of them knew about this.
tetapi Kain tidak mengindahkan.
But instead, Cain did not follow through.
Saya mau minta tolong Juwita boleh taruh kutipan kita,
I'll ask you to
kutipan yang pertama.
our quotations.
Apa yang dikatakan demikian? Setan mengamati setiap peristiwa yang berkaitan dengan persembahan korban dengan penuh minat.
Satan always scrutinized, Satan always watched all the offerings that we have offered.
Kesungguhan yang terkait dengan penumpahan darah korban membuatnya sangat gelisah.
So your sincerity of offerings that sometimes create anxiety for each one of us.
Ia melihat bahwa persembahan-persembahan ini melambangkan pertobatan atas dosa.
Because he notices all his offering is symbolizing our sin.
Hal ini tidak sesuai dengan tujuannya dan ia segera mulai mempengaruhi hati Kain untuk membawanya memberontak terhadap
So
persembahan
this
korban.
type of offering is not according to Satan's will. That's why he influenced Cain to bring the type of offering that he brought.
Ini di dalam buku Confrontation page 22 paragraf 1.
Verse 20, verse 1.
Jadi, siapa yang menggerakkan Kain membawa persembahannya?
So
Siapa di sini dikatakan? Roh setan.
who triggered Cain to brought the offering? This phrase says Satan influenced him to bring that type of offerings.
Berikut Juwita.
Next.
Ada sambungannya di situ atau tidak? Bukan masih dalam kutipan pertama. Ada, saya akan bacakan.
Let me read the next quotation here.
Oh ini. Kain menganggap dirinya benar
He thought he was rightfully.
dan ia datang kepada Allah hanya dengan persembahan.
He came to God with his offering.
Cuma persembahan.
Only offering.
Ia tidak mengaku dosa dan tidak mengakui kebutuhan akan belas kasihan.
Although he did not confess his sin at the same time.
Persembahan Kain merupakan penghinaan terhadap Allah.
So his offering actually is abomination to God.
Apakah pemberian saya dan saudara, waktu kita, uang kita, makanan yang kita bawa di gereja, tenaga kita, apakah itu berkenan di hadapan Allah atau menjadi penghinaan kepada Allah?
Is our gifts, our effort, our time, our energy, even the meal, the food that we bring in the church, is it according to God's will? That God's like this? Is it accepted by God?
Pada satu kali, Yesus masuk ke Ka'bah,
One time Jesus went to,
lalu dia mulai duduk di muka peti persembahan.
he said before the offerings,
Kemudian dia mulai lihat satu persatu orang datang membawa persembahan.
knows this one by one of the church.
Dan datanglah ini orang-orang
bring
kaya.
offering, and all these wealthy, rich folks,
Kasih bunyi lagi uang mereka.
they
Kasih bunyi.
make a noise for their coins
Lalu
so people can hear.
kalau dulu kan persembahan peti begini. Jadi mereka dari atas sudah taruh uangnya. Jadi kedengaran berbunyi banyak sekali yang masuk.
So during that time you can drop your coin so the coin will make noise.
Kemudian datang ini janda miskin. Masih dari jauh dia mulai bersembunyi.
This poor widow
Kemudian dia datang kepada peti persembahan.
slowly came to the
Dia kasih
box of
masuk,
offering.
dia punya tangan dalam-dalam supaya uangnya tidak berbunyi.
He even put his
Dan dia
arm,
lepas persembahannya.
he put her arm into her palm into her hand into the offering box so they cannot hear what she offers.
Hanya 2 dirham
Only 2 things.
adalah value yang paling kecil di zaman itu.
2 coins that she dropped, the least value of the money.
Lalu Yesus katakan kepada murid-muridnya,
And Jesus said to his disciples,
dari semua yang memberikan persembahan ini,
from all of you have given offering.
perempuan janda ini yang memberikan paling banyak dari semua.
That poor widow has given the most what she had.
Cuma 2 dirham, Yesus bilang paling banyak.
Coins.
Tetapi kenapa Tuhan bilang paling banyak?
But why did God say she gave the most?
Ini orang-orang kaya pada waktu mereka memberikan persembahan, masih banyak yang ada di dalam rumah mereka, harta mereka.
All these wealthy people, wealthy folks, rich folk, when they drop the offering, they still have a lot more in their house.
Tetapi ini persembahan dari janda ini cuma itu uang sisanya. Sesudah itu dia tidak punya uang lagi.
Unlike this widow, the only thing that she gave all what she had.
Pada waktu dia kasih, dia sudah kasih seluruh hartanya.
When she gave all the offering, actually she gave all her belongings.
Dan Tuhan katakan,
And God said,
dialah yang paling banyak.
she's the one who gave the most.
Saudara lihat, Tuhan melihat hati kita di dalam
Brother
memberi.
and sister, God look into your heart.
Tuhan tidak lihat berapa banyak saudara memberi.
God does not look how much you give.
Apakah Tuhan tahu saudara banyak uang?
Does God know you have plenty of money,
Tapi tahu saudara tidak mau memberikan?
but you don't want to give?
Tuhan tahu.
God knows that.
Apakah Tuhan tahu saudara tidak punya uang?
Does God know you do not have money?
Tuhan tahu juga.
God knows that too.
Jadi hati kita yang Tuhan
So our
inginkan.
heart that God.
Pemberian kita kepada Tuhan harus ada pemberian yang dengan penuh kerendahan hati dan pengakuan dosa. Karena saya rasa saya sudah berdosa Tuhan. Hanya ini yang boleh saya berikan kepadamu Tuhan.
Our gift that God's looked after. I'm a sinner. I could only give. This is what I give. All what I have.
Satu kali Petrus dia masuk di rumah ibadat
One time Peter went to
bersama murid-muridnya yang lain.
with other disciples.
Kemudian ada ini pasangan suami istri,
That's a couple, husband and wife,
Ananias dan Safira.
Ananias and Sapphira.
Mereka mau jual tanah,
Oh, they're about to sell their parcel, piece of land.
lalu mereka minta berdoa kepada Tuhan kalau boleh ini tanah laku.
Oh, they pray to God, God, please, someone buy this land.
Kalau ini tanah laku Tuhan, kami mau kasih berapa persen. Adalah
If
mereka
someone
dengan Tuhan.
purchase this house, I will give you some percentage of this purchase.
Lalu mereka datang, tanah sudah laku dan terjual,
The land was sold.
dan mereka mau bawa komitmen mereka, janji mereka kepada Tuhan.
Now they're bringing the proceed, and along with their commitment, they had promised God prior to this.
Pada waktu mereka membawa
They
ini,
bringing this proceed.
Ananias bawa,
Ananias brought
dia kasih. Lalu Petrus tanya, apakah sudah ini semua yang
Is this
kamu
all
janji?
money that you receive?
Ternyata berdusta ya. Dia berdusta kepada Tuhan.
He lied to God.
Dalam saat itu juga
At the very moment,
Ananias meninggal dunia.
Ananias passed.
Lalu istrinya datang,
And the wife came,
Safira.
Sapphira came.
Dan Petrus tanyakan lagi, apakah hanya ini persembahan kamu?
And the question's the same. Is it the whole, the proceed that you're bringing?
Ternyata tidak.
Apparently it's not that
Lalu
all.
Petrus bilang, ini orang-orang baru bawa suamimu yang sudah meninggal
Peter
dunia.
even said, these people just brought your husband to the graveyard. He just died.
Dan Safira pun meninggal dunia.
And Sapphira also passed.
Saudara,
My beloved brothers and sisters,
Petrus bukan Tuhan Yesus.
Peter is not Jesus.
Tetapi kenapa dia tahu?
But how did he know that?
Petrus adalah hamba Tuhan.
Because Peter is a servant of
Di
God.
zaman itu, jika Tuhan memilih hamba-hambanya,
God himself chosen his own servant.
Tuhan memberikan mereka kuasa.
God gave him
Khusus.
authority, his power.
Mereka bisa mengetahui. Dulu nabi-nabi Tuhan, mereka boleh bilang kalau ini orang mau mati atau tidak. Betul?
Back then, God
Di zaman
told
Alkitab,
them all this, they are able to predict this person whether to die or to live.
karena Tuhan memberikan mereka kuasa khusus.
Because God gave him the power, the knowledge to understand.
Sama dengan Tuhan memberikan kuasa khusus kepada pendeta-pendeta kita
The
saat
same
ini.
thing with God given wisdom to all our pastors.
Jadi jangan coba berdusta orang pendeta,
So
saudara.
don't lie to your pastors.
Karena Tuhan berikan mereka kuasa khusus.
Because God have given them the authority.
Jangan terlalu lancang juga kita kepada pendeta-pendeta.
say word that you not be
Karena
responsible.
mereka adalah hamba Tuhan yang Tuhan khususkan.
Pastor as the servant of God.
Kalau mereka sudah berjalan di jalan yang salah,
If they
Tuhanlah,
if they're going to the wrong path,
Tuhanlah yang akan menghakimi mereka, bukan saya dan saudara.
God will punish them.
Jadi bukan tugas saya dan saudara itu hakimi-hakimi hamba Tuhan. Kasih Tuhan itu, ya.
Let God do that.
Ini mengingatkan saya cerita tentang Elisa. Pada waktu Elisa
A story about Elijah.
dari Jericho, dia mau masuk ke Bethel.
Jericho to Bethel.
Dan dia baru memulaikan pekerjaan yang Tuhan suruh kepadanya di Bethel.
Elijah began the work proselytizing what God has obligated to.
Pada waktu Elisa rupanya botak, ya. Dari ayat ini dikatakan dia ini botak di dalam 2 Raja-Raja 2 ayat 23.
It says Elijah is bald.
Bold, yes. Jadi pada waktu dia naik gunung,
So when he's going up the hill,
ini anak-anak lihat, anak-anak kampung,
all these children,
lalu mereka mulai mengejek dia, berteriak, naiklah botak, naiklah botak.
all these children
Banyak sekali ini anak-anak.
began to mock him. Oh, you bald-headed, you bald-headed old man.
Saudara tahu apa terjadi?
Then what happened to the kids?
Elisa berdoa kepada Tuhan.
Elijah prayed to God.
Datanglah 2 beruang dari hutan,
And all of a sudden, 2 bears came from the
dan
forest.
2 beruang ini membunuh 42 anak-anak di Bethel.
2 bears had killed 42 children.
Saudara lihat,
Can you see this?
Nabi Tuhan,
Servant of God.
kalau dia berdoa,
God's prophet, when they pray.
itu akan terjadi. Karena Tuhan berikan kuasa, Tuhan sudah mengurapi nabi-nabi kita,
God has
pendeta-pendeta
given them
kita.
possibility, authority, and power when they pray this.
Kita harus menghormati
Then we need to respect them.
pendeta-pendeta kita sekarang. Mungkin kita tidak lihat Tuhan hukum kita langsung.
Or perhaps we do not experience the punishment from God directly,
Tetapi upah kita akan dapat
but our reward will be get
apabila Yesus datang kalian
when
berdua.
Jesus comes the second time.
Jadi inilah saudara pemberian-pemberian kita kepada Tuhan.
So brothers and sisters, we need to be mindful about all the gift that we're giving to God.
Hati kita yang paling penting.
Our heart is the most important.
Saya baca kutipan yang kedua.
Second quotation.
Apapun yang kita lakukan, lakukanlah oleh karena kasih yang murni.
Anything and everything that we've done, do it sincerely.
Betapapun kecil atau hinanya di mata manusia,
However the amount, however small in a man's eyes,
semuanya berbuah. Karena Allah lebih memperhatikan seberapa besar kerelaan dan kasih seseorang yang bekerja daripada jumlah yang dilakukan.
everything will be fruitful because God will look at the value, not the amount of what you give.
Hati kita.
Our heart.
Apakah saudara mau memberi kepada Tuhan?
Are you willing to?
Kalau setengah-setengah saudara lebih baik jangan.
If you are not willing to do it, you must don't do it.
Waktu kita di gereja, pada waktu dari gereja bilang oke jam 10 kita mulai, saudara boleh bawa doa buka.
The time in the church, we decided to start our service at 10 o'clock. So we'll have an opening prayer.
Lalu saya bilang, aduh jangan kita tidak ada waktu.
Oh, you may say, no, not me, I don't have time.
Apakah Tuhan tahu saudara ada waktu atau tidak?
Does God know you have time or not? You have availability or not?
Tuhan tahu.
Of course, God knows.
Pada waktu gereja bilang, oh kita ada mau donasi ini.
And
Oh,
the church like to have a donation?
ya. Oh saya tidak punya uang.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have money.
Tuhan tahu saudara punya uang?
God does know you are able to do or not.
Apakah Tuhan tahu saudara tidak punya uang?
God does what God knows whether you can give or not.
Tuhan
Do you
tahu.
have money or not?
Tuhan tahu saudara.
God knows.
Jadi kita bisa berdusta di hadapan manusia motif kita.
Oh, you may tell a lie before man, but unfortunately you can't lie to God.
Saya ada kesaksian.
I have a little testimony.
Tahun 2000 kami pindah dari California ke Seattle.
In the year of 2000, we moved from California to Seattle.
Lalu orang tua saya baru datang pada waktu itu.
Oh, my parents just arrived at that time.
Kemudian orang tua saya punya banyak teman di Seattle.
My parents have so many friends in
Jadi mereka tanya, bawalah orang tua kamu di sini, mereka bisa bekerja di sini.
So they said, bring your parents here. They're able to work here.
Jadi pindahlah kami, saudara, dari Sacramento
From Sacramento,
dan kami pindah ke Seattle.
moved to Seattle.
Pada waktu kami pindah di situ, suami saya berhenti bekerja, jadi kami hanya hidup dengan uang yang sisa yang ada pada
Oh,
kami.
when we just recently moved to Seattle, my husband is not working yet, so we're trying to survive with the little money that we had.
Karena dia harus transfer license-nya dari California ke Seattle, ke Washington license, jadi dia belum bisa bekerja.
So he has to transfer his license from California to Seattle, Washington. Unfortunately, he's unable to land any employment.
Jadi sudah 1 bulan lebih, tidak ada pekerjaan, belum datang.
No job, no work.
Belum datang license yang dari
The
Washington.
license from the California is not arrived yet.
Kemudian kami hadir di acara prayer meeting di salah satu gereja Indonesia di sana.
So we attended one of the church there.
Dan salah satu pendeta yang berkhotbah rupanya itu adalah kebangunan rohani.
So one of the pastor was preaching.
Kami kenal dia datang dari California.
He came from California.
Kemudian dia datang kepada kami. Habis
He approached us.
acara dia bilang, besok pendeta mau pergi penghuni rumah ya.
He said, tomorrow I will visit your house, okay?
Saya masih menumpang di teman saya, saudara.
I'm just staying in my friend's house myself.
Kemudian dia bilang, pendeta mau berdoa. Cilaka
I
ini.
said, I want to pray.
Lalu saya bilang sama suami saya, biasa kalau pendeta datang, sudah komitmen kami berdua, kami kasih uang sama pendeta.
I said to my husband, normally when a pastor come visit us, usually we give something.
Kali ini kami tidak punya uang, saudara.
But at this time we didn't have anything to give.
Suami saya katakan, ada uang,
And my brother,
tapi itu terakhir uang $100.
my husband said, yeah, we have a little money. That's our last bill, our last money, which is $100.
Lalu saya bilang, kasih.
And I said, give.
Saya bilang, kamu ingat janda di Sarfat?
Do you remember?
Cerita janda di Sarfat?
Do you remember the
Ya.
story?
Bagaimana itu Nabi datang lalu bilang, boleh saya minta makan? Lalu janda di Sarfat bilang, aduh, yang ada pada kami hanya tinggal tepung sedikit.
To a widow, and the prophet asked for food, and that lady, the widow only said, we only have a little bit of flour.
Sesudah kami makan ini, sudah mau mati saya dan anak
After
saya.
we eat this, we'll die because there's no more silver, there's no more provision.
Tapi itu Nabi bilang apa?
But what did the prophet
Masaklah
say?
dulu buat saya.
Feed me first.
Saudara ingat ceritanya. Lalu datanglah pendeta itu besoknya.
And then the pastor came the following day.
Dia datang, dia berdoa untuk kami.
Pray for us.
Lalu kami kasih uang yang terakhir yang kami punya.
The only
$100.
money, $100.
Sesudah pendeta pulang,
After the pastor left,
baku haga kita nempe tua.
we both look at each other.
Mau makan apa tuh orang ini? Ada orang tua ini,
What
saudara.
are you gonna eat now? We have our parents.
Mami
with
dan
us.
papi baru datang itu.
My mom and dad just arrived.
Kemudian saya bilang sama suami saya,
Then I said to my husband,
mari tumpi cek di bank. Dulu belum ada online banking.
let's go to the bank. Back then, there's no online banking system.
Siapa tahu ada doi.
What happened? Maybe who knows? Maybe you have some left.
Dia bilang paling $5.
Maybe $5.
Pergilah kami berdua, saudara.
So we both went to the bank.
Kami drive di bank, cek di ATM.
We stood for the ATM machine.
Lalu dia lihat saya. Dia
Look
bilang,
at me.
dari mana ini doi $876?
$9.
Baru didepositkan hari itu.
The money was just deposited that very day.
Saya bilang, dari mana ini?
I was asking where did money come from?
Saya bilang, coba print, supaya dapat lihat dari mana ini.
I said, print so we know where the resource or the source of this money came.
Lalu rupanya money itu dari pekerjaannya di Sacramento. No, itu sudah
Apparently
2 bulan,
that money
saudara.
just came from his work about 2 months.
Kemudian dia telepon bosnya.
Then he called his,
Dia takut jangan salah deposit.
he was worried.
Saya hampir mau bilang begini,
He was
sudah Jo
worried.
telepon.
He said, huh?
Saya hampir bilang sama dia, jangan telepon.
I said, please don't know.
Dia bilang, enggak, saya mau telepon. Dia tanya supervisornya, saya dapat uang dari
He
pekerjaan.
said, I received some money. He said, from my job. From my
Kemudian bosnya bilang,
And the boss said,
kita dapat audit.
I was audited.
Dan saya masih ada hutang sama kamu, gaji.
I owe you some money.
Tuhan kasih di hari yang tepat. Pada
God
waktu.
gave the money on the very exact day.
Apakah itu kebetulan?
Is that coincidental?
Bukan.
No.
Tuhan kasih karena saya bukan perpuluhan yang saya kasih kepada pendeta.
I gave to the pastor.
Lalu kami pulang dari bank.
So we returned from the bank.
Hari Jumat pagi itu ya.
It was on Friday
Hari Jumat
morning.
pagi. Lalu suami saya, kita masuk ke rumah di mana kami
So
tinggal.
we went to the house where we live,
Kemudian telepon berbunyi.
and the phone rang.
Tuan rumah bilang, Vence, ini buat kamu.
The owner of the house said, "Oh, this is phone for you."
Lalu Vence angkat teleponnya. Dia rupanya ada melamar private untuk jaga satu orang.
So apparently, Venture had submitted his, application to watch someone.
Lalu suara dari bos itu katakan, Vence,
And the boss said, "Venture,
kamu akan kerja mulai hari Minggu.
begin on Sunday,
12 jam,
12 hours,
6 hari,
6 days,
$20
$20
per jam.
an hour.
Kalau holiday kami bayar kamu $30 per jam.
On
Tahun
holiday,
2000 saudara.
We pay you up to $30.
Tahun 2000,
In the year of 2000,
waktu itu minimum wage masih $8.
at that
Di
time,
Seattle.
wage was only $8.
Di California minimum wage masih $6.
And in California at that time, minimum wage was $6 an hour.
Saudara lihat itu berkat dalam satu
You
hari.
see the blessing abundantly from God on that day.
Kami dapat uang di bank dan dia langsung dapat pekerjaan.
On that very day, we get money from the bank, and then he also got a job, an employment.
Dan ini betul-betul mengingatkan saya cerita janda di Sarot. Pada waktu dia masak untuk pendeta, untuk nabi itu, minyak dibuli-bulinya, tepungnya tidak pernah habis sampai habis musim
And
kemarau.
this very experience is reminded me about the story, the widow who provided meal for the prophet, the oil and the flour was never ended after she prepared the prophet.
Jadi saudara, kalau pendeta batelpon bilang mau berdoa, jangan pernah saudara
So my
tolak.
brother and sister, remember when a pastor call you, he say he will pray for you. Do not ever refute, do not ever reject.
Karena Tuhan yang hadir bersama-sama dengan pendeta untuk mendoakan saya dan saudara.
Because God has summoned him and God himself presence on that moment.
Itulah berkat yang Tuhan berikan.
That's the blessing.
Itu
that
janji hati kita pada waktu,
That's the blessing and covenant that God has promised you.
pada waktu saya kasih $100 itu, saudara, saya tidak ada rasa penyesalan sama sekali.
When I gave the $100 bill, I have no regret.
Karena saya tahu Tuhan itu dialah sumber segala sesuatu.
Because I know God is the source of everything.
Dia bisa kasih kerja, dia bisa ambil kerja
He
saudara.
would give you a job and he also can take the God job away.
Hati kita yang Tuhan butuhkan.
Our heart,
Apakah saya dan saudara mau berkorban
are you willing to sacrifice
untuk pekerjaan Tuhan?
for the work of
Waktu
God?
kita, tenaga kita,
Our
uang
energy,
kita,
our money,
makanan kita.
our time, our food.
Apakah Tuhan tidak punya uang?
Don't you think God have money?
Saudara ingat cerita, siapa di sini yang ada kartu ATM? Angkat tangan.
How many of you have ATM cards? Raise your hands.
Semua ada toh?
All of you have it.
Biasanya kalau saudara ada ATM, saudara ambil uang di mana?
Usually when you have an ATM card, where do you get the money from?
Hah? Pergi di bank, bukan?
You go to the bank.
Tuhan Yesus lain.
Oh, God is different.
Petrus datang, Tuhan,
Peter came. God,
ini orang-orang pajak sudah katakan bahwa Tuhan tidak bayar pajak katanya.
all these collectors said, "Oh God, you don't pay tax."
Pajak itu 2 dirham, 2 dirham.
2 dinar, 2 coins of taxes.
Lalu apa Tuhan bilang sama Petrus?
So what did God
Petrus,
say?
piba pancing ikan di situ.
Go fishing.
Ikan pertama yang kamu dapat,
The very first fish that you captured,
buka DP mulut,
open
ada 4 dirham di dalam.
there should be 4 coins inside the mouth of the fish.
Tuhan ATM di ikan, saudara.
God's ATM,
DP bank di ikan.
in the ATM card of Jesus is in the fish.
Tuhan bilang, itu 4 dirham, 2 dirham for kita pajak, 2 dirham for ngana
But
pajak.
there are 4 coins, 2 for me and 2 for the taxes.
Tuhan tidak punya uang,
God does have.
sedangkan ikan dia jadikan bank, saudara.
Even the fish can produce coins.
Apalagi cuma orang ini tuh daun-daun dia boleh bikin jadi doi.
And let alone all of us here, we got a
Kalau saya dan saudara tidak mau berkorban untuk pekerjaan
you
Tuhan,
and me are
Dia
not
bisa bikin.
willing to sacrifice,
Dia bisa bikin.
God will replace us. God can do it. God can perform.
Ibu-ibu yang selalu bawa makanan di gereja,
Mothers that always bring food
seringkali
into the church,
orang jam mengeluh, bukan?
sometimes they complain.
Apakah Tuhan, kalau saya dan saudara stop bawa makanan, apakah Tuhan tidak mampu mau kasih makan tuh orang?
Do you think God is unable to feed us?
Cuma 5 roti 2 ikan dia kasih makan berapa orang saudara?
5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes.
5.000 cuma laki-laki.
5,000 people, and it's only recorded as male.
Pada waktu
House.
Andreas bilang sama Tuhan,
Andreas said to God,
Tuhan ini orang-orang ada iko-iko sudah dari tadi pagi. So waktunya mau kasih makan, suruh pulang.
these people have been following you since morning. It's time for them to be fed.
Lalu apa Tuhan bilang?
What did God says?
Kamu mesti kasih makan dorang.
You need to feed them.
Andreas bilang, banyak begini bagaimana mesti
All
makan?
this multitude, how am I going to feed them?
Tuhan bilang, cari siapa yang ada makanan di sini.
God said, look, who has provision here? Who has food here?
Dapatlah ini anak, dan saya tahu ini anak ini mungkin.
And this child,
DP mama so kasih bekal. Ini ngana pe 5 roti dan 2 ikan karena ngana mau ikut Yesus.
have given him for his lunch. This is a 5 loaf of bread.
Ya,
This is
ini
2
ngana pe
fish.
dinner.
This is your food. This is your lunch.
Waktu Andreas datang kepada anak ini,
And they came to this child.
Tuhan minta ngana pe makanan.
God asked for the food.
Apa ini anak bilang, oh jangan kita pe makanan ini. Apa dia bilang
He
begitu?
said, no, this is my food. Did he say that?
Aduh dengan senang hati ini anak kasih di semua saudara dia pe makanan.
He offered his lunch, his
Dia
dinner.
dia nak terpikir dia mau makan dia atau sonda
He didn't
ini.
even think whether he's going to eat or not.
Tapi dia kasih sama Tuhan.
But he gave it to Jesus.
Dia mungkin dia ibu-ibu lain udah bawa makanan.
Perhaps other mothers.
Apakah ini anak bilang, iki apa tapi makanan? Ambil jatuh ibu-ibu pe makanan.
Say, they brought his mother. They brought food. No, he didn't do that.
Dia kasih kepada Tuhan Yesus.
Jesus.
Dia tidak tahu Tuhan akan turn itu makanan menjadi
What
banyak.
Jesus is going to do with his food.
Jadi kalau Tuhan mau kasih makan saya dan saudara
So if God wants to provide our
di dalam
provisions,
gereja,
you and me in the church,
Tuhan bisa bikin itu.
God will do.
Biar cuma sedikit makanan, orang semua bisa makan.
Even though only a little bit of food, but everyone can consume.
Tetapi di dalam hati kita, apakah kita tulus?
But within
Nggak
our
usah
heart,
lihat-lihat orang saudara.
are we sincere in our heart?
Nggak usah lihat-lihat siapa dia ndak bawa, kung kita bawa, kung siapa dia
Don't have
begini,
to
siapa
look
dia begitu.
around, we
Jangan.
don't have to compare to others. I bring this or he did bring that.
Karena berkat itu pribadi buat
Because
buat saudara dan
because
saya.
blessing has been assigned to each one of us.
Kalau saudara menolak untuk mengambil melaksanakan pekerjaan Tuhan di dalam gereja, apakah Tuhan tidak bisa, gereja ini akan mati oleh karena itu?
If you refuse or reject the assignment that has been given to you in this church, do you think this church is going to just die away?
Juwita boleh buka Lukas 19 ayat 40.
Look, 19 verse 40.
Ya. Luke 19 verse 40. Ya.
Let's open our Bible in the book of Luke 19 verse.
Bahasa Indonesia ada bahasa Indonesianya? Lukas 19 ayat 40.
I'll read it in English.
Okay, you read in English and Juwita can put it in Indonesian. Yeah, you can read.
Me?
Yeah.
And he answered and said unto them, I tell you that if these should hold their peace, the stones would immediately cry out.
Tuhan bilang kalau saya dan saudara menolak untuk melaksanakan tanggung jawab kita di dalam gereja, apa yang Tuhan mau bikin berbicara?
Oh, what did Jesus say? You and me refuse the job, the assignment that was given to us. What did he say? Who will speak?
Batu-batu.
The stones.
Tuhan bisa bikin segala sesuatu, saudara.
God is capable of doing anything and everything.
Saya dan saudara menolak untuk melaksanakan pekerjaan Tuhan. Pemberian kita hanya oleh apa? Uang kita, tenaga kita, waktu kita yang kita berikan kepada Tuhan, yang berkenan di hadapan Tuhan adalah pemberian yang dengan sungguh-sungguh.
Refuse our time, our money, our effort, our energy. We have to provide, give it to God willingly.
Tanpa ada komplain.
Do not bersemut.
Ada janji yang Tuhan berikan kepada kita,
That's
saudara.
promise that God has given us.
Kalau Tuhan bisa provide itu uang,
If God is able to provide money,
kalau Tuhan bisa bikin makanan yang dari sedikit jadi banyak,
if God able to provide a little bit of food becomes bountiful,
kalau Tuhan bisa bikin batu-batu berbicara kalau saya dan saudara tidak
if
mau
God
bicara,
could make stones speak out,
lalu kenapa Tuhan mau saya dan saudara bekerja baginya?
so why does God want you and me to do His work?
Kutipan yang keempat,
The next quotation.
pekerjaan Allah, ini alasannya kenapa Tuhan mau saya dan saudara
This is the
berpartisipasi.
reason why God wants you and me to work.
Pekerjaan Allah harus diselesaikan melalui kerjasama antara kekuatan ilahi dan manusia. Antara
God's
siapa?
work must be completed, teamwork between divine work and our efforts.
Jadi Tuhan mau saya dan saudara berpartisipasi.
Actually, God wants you and me to be united and work to participate.
Tuhan mau saya dan saudara tidak hanya berdiam diri saja.
God does not want you to just be still and be silent.
Kita harus memberikan persembahan kita.
We need to give our offerings.
Karena di dalam bagian yang terakhir,
Because the very last part here it says,
mereka yang kelihatan aktif dalam pekerjaan Allah, ingat,
those who look very active in the God's work,
tetapi jika mereka tidak berdoa, aktivitas mereka tidak ada
unfortunately,
gunanya.
they do not work with prayer. They do not pray at all. Their involvement, their activities is in vain.
Jika mereka dapat melihat ke dalam pedupaan malaikat yang berdiri di mezbah emas di
They could see the angels standing in the gold altar,
depan takhta yang dikelilingi pelangi,
before the altar they were surrounded by rainbows.
mereka akan melihat bahwa jasa Yesus harus dicampur dengan doa dan apa, saudara? Kerendahan
They
hati.
will understand that the word of Jesus must be combined, must be coined with work and humbleness.
Kalau tidak, semuanya tidak berharga seperti persembahan kain.
Otherwise, all our efforts, all our offerings is useless. Is the same with the Cain's offering.
Kalau kita melaksanakan pekerjaan Tuhan, pemberian kita, lalu kita orang komplain,
If we do God's work, but yet we are complaining,
tidak ada kerendahan
at the
hati,
same time, there's no humbleness in it.
tidak ada saling mengalah satu dengan yang lain,
There's no understanding within one another, no respect to one another.
dan cuma lihat-lihat orang.
Just watching what other people do or do not do.
Pemberian kita akan menjadi pemberian seperti Kain.
Our offerings will turn out to be just like Cain's offering.
Tidak
Useless,
berkenan di
in
hadapan Allah.
vain, not acceptable by God.
Orang tidak coba kasih Pak Tuhan,
Here we are giving to God as we think,
maka Tuhan tidak berkenan.
but unfortunately God does not accept it.
Kutipan yang terakhir,
Last quotation.
ini Ellen White katakan,
This is-
aku diperlihatkan
I had a vision
bahwa malaikat pencatat membuat catatan yang akurat
that the angels recorded the very accurate records
tentang setiap persembahan yang dipersembahkan kepada Allah
of every offering that was offered to God,
dan dimasukkan ke dalam perbendaharaan serta hasil akhir dari sarana yang tersebut
that was entered into the God's threshold.
masih ada sambungannya. Mata Allah memperhatikan setiap uang yang dipersembahkan untuk tujuannya, dan ini mata Allah memperhatikan siapa? Kesediaan atau keengganan dari si pemberi.
It says here, God watches every offering, every money that you have offered Him.
Hati kita Tuhan perhatikan, dicatat, malaikat mencatat. Motif dalam memberi juga di apa?
God also registered to
Dicatat.
His angels our motives of giving the gift or of the offerings.
Jadi motif saya dan saudara, seperti yang saya katakan, kita bisa sembunyikan di mata manusia.
So your motives could be altered before man's eyes, but not in God's eyes.
Tetapi di hadapan Tuhan dicatat.
For God is all recorded.
Kalau kita mau
If we are willing,
memberikan waktu kita,
if we are willing to give our time,
memberikan uang kita,
our money,
tenaga kita,
our effort and energy,
lakukanlah dengan motif yang berkenan di hadapan Allah.
with the righteousness of motive.
Dengan motif yang tidak suka orang Manado bilang bangke-bangke, apa itu bahasa
The
Indonesia?
type of worship that you do
Tidak
not,
mengungkit-ungkit.
you don't have to bring it up after you give.
Kalau kita sudah kasih sumbangan sama orang,
If
orang
you
itu
have
mau
given
kasih baking apa, saudara, jangan
If you
ungkit-ungkit.
have given it to others, let them do what they want to do with it. Don't have to worry about what it is, what they're going to do.
Kalau kita sudah kasih sama gereja, jangan ungkit-ungkit,
If
saudara.
we have surrendered, we have given to the church, leave it alone. Don't budge anymore about what church going to do.
Pada waktu saya menjadi ketua jemaat di Seattle,
And I was became a church elder in Seattle.
satu anggota datang pada saya.
One of the church member came to me.
Elim,
Eli,
tak sudah kasih perpuluhan
I
di
don't want to
gereja
give
ini.
any more to the church.
Saya bilang, oh,
I said, oh,
kenapa dang ini?
why?
Tanya, nak percaya tuh pendeta, tak nak percaya tuh bendahara, tak nak percaya tuh,
Pastors, I don't believe the treasurer.
percaya tuh ketua diakon.
I don't believe the head of deacons.
Jadi kita sudah mau kasih persembahan, sudah mau kasih
So
perpuluhan.
not, I will not give any more offerings. I will not give him any more donation. None.
Lalu saya tanya sama dia,
So I asked him, why?
siapa dah yang udah suruh ngana kasih?
Huh?
Saya tanya sama dia, siapa yang suruh kamu kasih?
So I asked him, who asked you to give anyway?
Lalu dia bilang, kan di Alkitab bilang mesti kasih kembali Tuhan
In
perpuluhan.
the scripture it says you need to return it to God.
Oh,
Oh.
jadi siapa yang dah suruh ini?
So who asked you?
Bendahara yang suruh?
The treasurer asked you?
Ketua dah suruh?
The church elder asked you?
Atau Tuhan dah suruh?
Or maybe God had demanded it on you.
Dia bilang, ya Tuhan udah suruh.
Oh yeah, God had asked me.
Kalau Tuhan dah suruh, kenapa saudara mau kasih? Memangnya itu mau kasih Pak Bendahara? Aduh, kita nak percaya tuh bendahara, dia bilang.
If God had asked you, but I don't like the treasurer. I don't trust the treasurer.
Dia bilang, kalau begitu nak usah kasih Pak Tuhan.
Well, if that's the case, then don't give to God then.
Lalu saya bilang sama dia,
So then I said,
perpuluhan itu milik Tuhan.
tithe this belongs to God.
Dan saya tahu saya harus kembalikan sama Tuhan.
And I realized that I need to return this to God.
Tanggung jawab saya adalah kasih kembali.
My responsibility is to return.
Tuh bendahara mau pakai apa, dia pe urusan dengan Tuhan.
What the treasurer is going to do with your money and your tithes is his problem.
Dia yang bertanggung jawab dengan Tuhan, bukan saya.
Responsible his conduct with God himself.
Sudah kasih tanggung jawab saya sudah clear dengan Tuhan.
I have fulfilled
Saya
my
tidak pusing.
responsibility. I have fulfilled my demand, God's demand. That is it.
Jadi motif kita waktu memberi saudara sama Tuhan, bukan sama manusia.
So we gave to God, not to the mankind.
Tanggung jawab kita mau kasih persembahan, mau mengembalikan perpuluhan itu kepada Tuhan, bukan kepada manusia.
Our task is to give to God, not to man.
Kalau mereka mau menyalahgunakan, itu tanggung jawab mereka dengan siapa? Dengan Tuhan.
If they mistreated the gift, the offering they give, that's his responsibility to God.
Kalau kita punya komitmen seperti itu,
If we have committed ourselves,
bahwa saya mau kasih uang saya mau kasih tenaga saya, waktu saya untuk Tuhan, saudara tidak akan lihat-lihat orang di samping-samping.
I have committed yourself. If we have committed ourselves to give my money, my time, my energy to God, you're not going to look what is going to happen after that. That's not your responsibility any longer.
Dan itulah pemberian yang berkenan di hadapan Tuhan.
That is the type of gift, the type of offering that's according to His will.
Saya mau tutup khotbah saya ini
Let me conclude
dengan
my sermon.
membaca ayat tema kita satu kali lagi.
Let's read our themes verse one more time.
2 Korintus,
2 Corinthians 9,
boleh kasih bahasa
7
Indonesianya?
and 8. I'll read it in English.
He'll read it in English and yeah. You read it in English.
Every man according to as he purposed in his heart. So let him give not grudgingly, or if necessities, for God loves a cheerful giver.
Jadi, jadikan ayat ini jadi satu ayat hafalan kalau boleh, saudara.
Let's treat
Supaya
this
kita ingat
as your
bahwa
memory verse.
hendaklah masing-masing memberikan menurut kerelaan hatinya, jangan dengan sedih hati atau karena paksaan. Sebab Allah mengasihi orang yang memberi dengan sukacita dan ada janji. Allah sanggup melimpahkan segala kasih karunia-Nya kepada kamu, supaya kamu senantiasa apa, saudara? Berkecukupan. Nak mau jadi kaya mungkin, tapi berkecukupan di dalam segala sesuatu dan malah berkelebihan di dalam berbagai kebajikan.
Let me read it in English. And God is able to make all grace aboundant toward you, that ye always having all sufficiency in all things may abound to every good work.
Inilah firman pada siang ini, saudara. Doa saya, biarlah Tuhan menolong kita
My prayer is so that
agar kita mau memberikan kepada Tuhan dengan sukacita.
so we may give